Welcome back to Dallas County Iron. This time on the show, we're going to attempt to take the rear brake drum off. I apologize for the shakiness. I'm trying to hold this thing up on my hand. So, I bought a tool. It's called a hub removal tool. And from what I understand, it'll work on both brake drums and hubs. So if you have to take a hub off of something, this would be a good tool. I'll try to figure out how to put it in the in the description. I know there's a way to link these things. I just have to figure out how to do it. We're going to attempt the way the guy I saw, Gage Fixes Everything. I'll try to put a link into his episode of that. To show how to take this apart. Basically, you heat it up. When you pre-lube your tool, you have to put gear lube on it or some kind of grease on it to make sure that everything moves smoothly. Heat up the hub section and then take your big hammer and knock the hub off. We will see how well that works. There may be a lot of high speed on it because I don't know how long this will take to pop it off. And I'll try to walk you through it. So here we go. Okay, here's the tool. Pieces and parts of it at least. There's a little notch. I don't know if you can see it. Notch right here. You want to slide these on. And then you will bolt them right where the lug bolts go, and then you will heat this collar to loosen it up. It'll expand it, and then you put this piece on the end, and then you just beat on it with a hammer, and it will take this pressed on hub off, or brake drum off. I'm assuming you use the nut to drive it back on. I don't know yet. We will find out. But I'm going to grease this up, attach it, and then we will go from there. Okay, I had to restart the phone. I've got this on. I've got it tightened up enough to where it's pretty rigid. I've got to find the right socket for it. Found that first. Not you. You're too big. You're just right. Use a screwdriver on this set to get everything popped loose. I do that one. Yeah. Little feather. Come on, little buddy, you can do it. There we go. We are free. Alright, the next trick is for me to find my torch. Yes, all my tools are Harbor Freight or Amazon or whatever is cheapest. Yeah, you just heat everything up. Get it rooting hot. Actually, I don't use a socket. use a propane torch, I'm using that gas, so we'll see which one works better. We also put a nut on it, but I don't think that tool will work. Put a nut on it. Well, I guess when this thing pops, it'll pop. You don't really want to be standing behind it when it does that. Alright, I'm going to high speed the rest of this since I think it's going to take a while. Give me a second here. Okay. Back to where we were when I started and didn't push record. On the top there's stamped an R and an L. I'll find the one I just had in my hand. Here's one that has an L on it. So make sure you're using the right bolt when you do this. And what the guy did before is he bolted these pole arms loosely on so he could get the ring on, but he also had a different style. I'm going to try it with these attached to the puller and see if that works well. If not, I'll let you know. I don't know if you can tell, but this ring is now spinning, and I don't know what's going on. So maybe this wasn't such a good investment. I don't know. It doesn't seem to be working the way it's supposed to be. But I'll tighten things up again and try it some more and see if I can get it to work. If not, I don't know how we're taking this off. Well, I jammed that one up, returned it, so I'll be getting a new hub puller device. So we're going to switch over to something else. Maybe pull the seats up, maybe pull the head off. I haven't decided just yet. You'll see when I get started. Yeah, for now, that's going to be what it is. I don't know. We'll just continue on, do little jobs until we get the whole thing done. Okay, I've decided we're going to take the head off first and see what we've got in there. Probably put some more diesel down and soak it up a little bit. See if I can get things loosened up, or see what kind of carnage we have in there. So I'm probably going to do some high speed on this, and we'll see where we go from here. Okay, I'm going to bring you in here a little bit. I did some work off camera. There's my finger again. I took everything off the driver's side of the motor so I could get to things better, and I'll show you what I took off. Alright, as you can see, this held the breather up and it goes in that front bolt. This holds your coil and also organizes your spark plugs. Get that drug out of the road. Now, that guy, your fuel oil filter, he bolts on with that other bracket here on this bolt. This one's a half, that one's a 3/4 or 9/16, and that one came out as a bolt and nut combination stud. So, and that's the other side. And as you can see down in the bottom, I got some archaeology to do. Got to dig through the remains of whatever that is and get to the starter and stuff like that. But again, this is sat for a long time. Was trying to pry this off. I've got it loose enough to where it'll turn a little bit. Well, maybe I can get it to walk its way off. We'll do that later. And then I've got to take the temperature sensor thing, maybe? Not sure what that is. It might be oil pressure. I have no idea right now. When I get that pulled off, I was working on this, the thermostat housing. It doesn't want to move, so that's going to take me a minute. Once I can get that removed, because I want to do it while it's on the car maybe, then we'll go into getting the head off. But I had to disconnect the linkage. If I can reach it and bring it over here to show you. Okay, 5/16 on top, 7/16 on the bottom. You hold this one, you turn that one. I don't believe that pops out of there. It might. I didn't want to try it because I didn't want to break anything. I'm trying to save as much as I can. Did the same thing over here. I don't know if you can see that, but that's the linkage. It actually hits the carburetor. I'm still trying to get the choke cable unwrapped from however they did it. But we will continue on. Yeah, this bracket here is the oil breather. Goes in just like a so, and then you've got that big round thing you pour oil in to separate the air from the dirt. Poor man's, well, in the day that was probably luxury. So that's replaced the paper air filter that you have to replace all the time. Replaced the quart of oil you had to put in every once in a while. Anywho, we will continue on. Eventually I'll get underneath and see if this transmission linkage is what's holding up. I do have another tool ordered to get that hub or drum off. The one I had stripped out halfway down. I'm hoping this next one works better. I think I'll probably try to take it a little easier and back it off, and kind of like you do with stuck bolts. You go so far and then you back it up and then you check things out and then you go forward again. So we'll try that when that tool gets here, and we'll just continue on taking stuff off. Kind of investigating as I go. Yeah, that all should come up without any problem. This is the water pump. I don't know if any of it moves. I'm assuming not. This might be something I can maybe fix. It looks like there's a grease zerk right there. If I can get that cleaned out to where it looks alright, then we'll do something with that. If not, we'll see what I can do to get a different one. Or if I can't get the engine unstuck, we might put something else in here. I think it's pretty neat. You check this big chunk of steel down here, the front motor mount, or the only motor mount. That's basically your drag plates where it holds the engine solid. So back in the day they were thinking speed. Yeah, that wasn't it. Anyhow, we'll continuing on and see where we can get today and tomorrow. Got my fingers crossed. There's my hand again. You guys almost know what my fingerprint looks like. Alright, back at it. Okay, I got that cable out that I thought was oil pressure sensor or something like that, but when I popped it out, it smelled like ether. So maybe that's a shot in the butt to get it started. Don't know. Probably find an empty ether can here pretty quick, or that starter spray. But yeah, that was interesting. This little square nut is a 5/8. If you can get that big one in the back out, that's a 7/8. Currently I can't get it out, but right now it's not in the road, so I think we'll just leave it there. It seems happy, so we'll just let it play. But now we'll see if I can get this head cleaned up enough to get some bolts to want to come loose, and we'll go from there. Check with you in a bit. Well, we've got an update. I took the thermostat housing off, and a little sketchy. Let me show you. I think I'm going to need a new one. Hopefully I can find one. Also, to take it off, I'll show you what I found in here. Hopefully you can see it. I'll turn my little flashy light on. Well, that's a good magnet. Nothing but rust inside of that. And obviously I snapped the bolts off because they're rusted in tight. So I'm going to have to drill those out. Again, I used a torch and lubricant and took some of the head bolts loose. I've got these three are loose. That one's tight. This one's loose. And I ran out of time, so I didn't get that one. That only took an hour and a half. So I have 17 more to get loose. That is going to take some time. So I will get back to you when I have those loose. Hopefully it doesn't take the rest of the week. Well, I ran into a couple of fellas the other day that watch all these car rebuilder shows, and they were saying, you know, it's kind of nice seeing the shows, but it'd also be nice to know what you guys are doing to get all these bolts loose or take things apart. You know, everything's high speed. I'm going to show you the trouble I'm having with these bolts and how I'm fixing it. They are all pretty well stuck, and I'm not getting them loose by regular hand tools, so I'm using my impact driver and a torch to get them loose. And what I'm doing is I'm cooking the top of the bolt head as long as it needs to. It can take basically you just let the fire hit the top of the bolt head and go deep in thought or something. I don't know. Whatever it is, you just, when you think it's hot enough, just leave it sit. Just keep cooking it until it decides it wants to come loose. Sometimes you have to heat it a couple times. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I'm going to have regular speed. I'm up to 8 now, and it's gone pretty quickly. So I'm going to show you what I do, and it's working. So if it works, it's not wrong. So here we are. Now I'm going to move you, so it's going to be earthquake time, and then we'll get to it. This is the one I was telling you about, was giving me all kinds of fits. I just kept heating it and putting lubricant on it and hitting it with my impact. And she finally come loose. I've got her up quite a ways right now. Once I get them loose, I hit it with lubricant again, and hopefully that goes down and lubricates the threads. I don't know. We'll find out when I pull them out. But this is what I'm doing. Grab your torch. Okay, for the part you missed, my phone died. You heat the bolt up. Wait for about 2 minutes or so. You want to get a spot on your head about that big around that's dry from all the oil you sprayed on it. You want to get the head of the bolt as wet as you can, and then you hit it with the impact and it should spin on. The one I was working on, I got the first try, so we'll see if I keep memory until this thing cooks off. The reason why I'm looking is I'm waiting to see if that red dot comes back. They said something about I saw online that want to get the head red. Well, they said cherry red. Well, I want something I can put a socket on and get this thing loose. So I'm not going that far. You just sit here until you think it's long enough, and then you go longer. I'm kind of paying attention to see how much I've cleared off my head. I doubt you can see it. I'll show you if this thing holds on long enough. I had to bring a different phone out here. It's got no pictures in it. He's heating up pretty good. Of course, I'm using map gas. It's the yellow tin if you go for it. And you're probably thinking, oh, you better stop. No, the bolt will tell me when I need to stop. First, I'm going to have to use a swivel adapter when I get to the back ones because I can't reach it with this impact. It's a 1/2 inch drive. All the red stuff, if you can see it on the bolt right now, is just flaked rust. I think I've heated it enough that I've made my circle. Now I'm going to hit it with the impact. See if we can do anything. Oh, this one might not. I forgot to hit it with lube. May not be hot enough yet. Anyway, this is how you do it. You keep doing it until it comes loose. thinking about it. There it is. Alright. Now if you're fast enough, you won't burn yourself. This one kind of went sideways because it's leaning against the firewall. But that's how you do it. Now I'm going to fight getting that thing off because it probably rounded things because it was at an angle. But it's coming loose. So we're in good shape. Okay, I've got updates. I got almost all of them done, except for these last two. Those two guys. Actually the last three, but that one finally broke loose with a big old poof of rust coming out of it. I think that's a nut on a bolt. Apparently there's two of those, and the one in the middle in front of the back, that's a 5/8 head. That's interesting. So, fingers. I'm going to let these guys soak since I've been fighting with this for about 6 hours today. I'm going to let those two soak overnight. I had one that I was having trouble with before. A guy underneath my hammer drill. And he come loose the next day. So I'm going to let these two guys soak for a little bit. I've been putting a lot of heat on them. As you can tell by the scorch marks on the back wall, firewall. And we will come back to this tomorrow morning. So hopefully I can get those last two knocked loose and I can pull this head off. I may have to take the carburetor off. I haven't figured out how they wedge that cable in that choke. Should have been an electric choke, but apparently they didn't like it. Most of the time you don't. By the time you get to this stage, they're so wore out they don't do anything. But yeah, we'll get back to this tomorrow and see where we go. Ran out of map gas. Apparently I'm out of memory again. So we'll make this quick. I'll clean this up and we'll see what we got. Don't know if you can see it, but I see why it's stuck. Cylinder number 6 is full of rust. Looks like it's pretty severe. Let's stick a finger in it and see what we got. I don't know. Oh, there's a lot of rust on top of the cylinder. There's a pretty good ridge right here. Just trying to scrape some of this off. See if I can feel any pitting in there. Obviously I can't see anything with all the diesel still in here, but it's pretty crunchy. Not even sure I can get a piston in there the way it sits right now. Or a set of rings in there to stay. Well, we'll clean it out and we'll see what we got. I don't know. May have to go with option number 2. Replace it with a V8. We'll see what happens. I know this has been seen before, but this belt is still shaped as it was on the front of the motor. Where the head of the hammer is around the bottom of the harmonic balancer. I had to use a screwdriver and that hammer to chisel it out. So yeah, this thing's been setting probably 30-40 years. I have no idea. The guy that bought it, I bought it from, he bought it from someone else and had been sitting out in a field for a long time. So Really don't know how long this thing's been sitting, but there's little evidence right there that it's been a minute. Anyhow, we are probably going to, oh yeah, that's beautiful. We're going to end this video on this. I'm going to keep working on trying to get the engine rotating. I was thinking maybe if things were stuck that might be keeping it from rotating. Also, probably going to drop the drive shaft because I don't know if the transmission's in gear. Really don't know how the shift pattern is on it. It's an automatic fluid something transmission, I think is what he said. Anyhow, we will keep working, but I'm going to end this video here because next week I start a job. So whatever I do this weekend will probably be in next week's video. So we will catch you later. And again, like always, like and subscribe, share with your friends if you enjoy this or like it at all. I mean, I'm going to give good information as best I can, and shaky hands, don't like holding phones. So, yeah, just whatever you can do to help the channel. I'm already up to 39 whole subscribers, and I appreciate all of you. I really do. This isn't supposed to be a money-making adventure. Just sharing what I'm doing. If it does turn into income for me, then that'll be fantastic. But right now, it's all about this beauty. Oh, that almost worked. Every other time I just, but we're gaining. We're getting to where we might find a light at the end of the tunnel. I just knocked the pulley off of that to get the belt off, and it's freaking beautiful. I lubricated everything up, lubricated up some rusty spots down there on the lifters. I did look, there's only one spot that looks bad, but that's running the fuel pump. So I'm not too worried about him. Everything else just looks a little brown from spot rust. So we'll see how this turns out. Again, thanks for watching, and like and subscribe, share, make comments. Everything helps. Thanks again.